If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. You want that little dose of inspiration, the juice? It is September the 17th, 2022, and today the topic is Jester or Jesus. Whew, y'all, this morning has already started out quite interesting, but to God be the glory. To God be the glory for all things. Man, I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Y'all know it was my anniversary. Shout out to everybody that showed us love and everything like that and sent us some celebratory words yesterday on social media. Those of you all that follow me, then you may be familiar that your girl, shared a couple of photos from our engagement shoot. So I made those like my main photos on Facebook, and then shared one of them on Instagram as well. And then yesterday evening we ended up having a family movie night. I know we had talked about doing the things today, but I don't know. I really just felt led to just go get what I could and just try, and do something that evening. And the crazy thing is, let me go ahead and just tell y'all what happened. Long story short, again, y'all know my funds are super limited. I think y'all should know that. My funds are super limited. And, but, again, when you have these celebratory moments, X, Y, and Z, you want to try to do something, right? And so, I just felt led to just take what I had and go to Dollar Tree. I'll be completely honest. This ain't sponsored or nothing like that. But I decided to go there. And so, me and my son, we get ready and, we do all the things. And I was letting him do a lot of things on his own. I might talk to y'all in the after show about some things, but I was letting him be in the bathroom on his own and all the things, right? And brush his teeth by himself and and all that. And so and it was so cute and funny because as I was getting dressed, and when I came out the door, he was like standing there waiting for me, I guess, to give him his approval because like sometimes he'd be like, "Do I look cool?" And he just standing there like, "Do I look cool?" I was like, "You look cool, son," and everything like that. And so we get to Dollar Tree, right? And we're grabbing some little snacks and stuff like that. Movie stuff. Get little cheese balls, popcorn, candy. Just little stuff like that. And we're on the cookie aisle, and I was looking for something chocolate, I think. And I was talking to him with X, Y, and Z. He had picked up this big pack of cookies, and I'm like, "Son, put the cookies back. Put the cookies back." And all of a sudden, this lady, not to say she came out of nowhere, but like, kind of, she just was like, "I'll get those cookies for you." That's what she was telling him. She's like, "I'll get those cookies for you. Here, give them to me. Give them to me. I'll get those cookies for you." And he's like, "Okay." My son's excited, X, Y, and Z. And me, I'm like, on one hand, part of me, when somebody's about to do something like that, you're like, "Oh, you don't have to. It's okay. Whatever, whatever." But I don't know. I don't even know if I felt led to say any of that. I just kind of let it be. Like I just like kind of let that moment happen. I just was like, "Oh, well, tell her thank you. X, Y, and Z." And the interesting thing is this morning as I reflected on that, because if y'all notice, those that have been listening to me regularly, you notice that something very similar happened when I went out the other week. And someone paid for me and my friend's meal. And then yesterday, someone paid for my son's cookies. um, and now my husband has been, going through some things as well. And he's been blessed this week and stuff. And so I don't know. I feel like I felt a little confirmation in my heart and mind and spirit this morning that, like, we're blessed. In spite of what it looks like, we're blessed. And that kind of coincides with today's topic of Jester for Jesus, right? Because well, basically, long story short, part of the inspiration was the prayer meditation this morning. It was talking about shame. And those that listened to me yesterday, especially if you watched the after show, then you know that I had a bit of a confessional moment. I let you all know where I currently am and whatnot when it comes to some personal falling short in some ways, or trying to figure out, am I on the right path regarding, a few things, and X, Y, and Z, and being open and honest and transparent about that instead of trying to hide that and live in shame about that. Because again, with me addressing what I addressed yesterday, I wasn't going to, basically what I was sharing with y'all yesterday is that I'm not going to allow condemnation to make me feel ashamed of being human, when at the end of the day, God has given me freedom, and I feel like God is calling me to say X, Y, and Z about whatever he leads me to say in the mornings, right? So I was talking about that, and then the crazy thing was I ended up listening to a sermon about condemnation yesterday morning, and then I feel like I was receiving a lot of different, information yesterday as well. Like, I came across this lady that was kind of speaking into wives regarding their husbands, which I, tuned into because, it was already anniversary yesterday, so I felt like that was a good little anniversary word, to remind me to cover my husband, and to pray for him, and to be there to lift him up, and all those different things, So yeah, a lot of that was going on yesterday, as well as, before we went to the store, and then we went to the store and that amazing moment happened. So shout out to that lady, and everything like that. You didn't have to get my son the cookies, but I appreciate you doing that. And I appreciate the word from God that I received about it. Now again, all of this might sound crazy to people, right? All of this might sound like, as they say, foolish. Even my current situation might be kind of foolish. I know even yesterday, I was talking to my husband because, I am in a place where I need to basically compensate some people. Now, I do believe that, I have some funds coming in. I have some over here, some over there. I need to kind of move around to put together. And then someone contacted me about an opportunity to do some freelance work or whatever. And so, and then there's a couple other things on the table as well, even though not say those are panning out, but um, sometimes things take time. I put it like that. Sometimes things take time to finalize and things like that. So I'm not worried per se, but then, like, when I look at certain situations and stuff, it does kind of cross your mind. Like, you feel foolish. You feel like, man, this is, how can I say it? Sometimes you wonder, man, like, am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing something else? But I don't know, like, when things like that, what happened this morning, and even though I haven't, those that didn't tune in like right when I went live, then you may not know what I'm talking about, and I might continue to talk about it after I get done with this. But anyway, let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about, shame. Let's talk about all these things, and hopefully get some clarity today. So when I looked up the definition of jester, it says a professional joker or fool uh, at a medieval court, typically wearing a cap with bells on it and carrying a mock scepter. A fool says a person who acts unwisely or imprudently, a silly person. So, I mean, again, to somebody that don't believe, or to somebody that, don't understand what I'm talking about, I might look real silly and foolish right now talking about, oh, I heard, I feel led X, Y, and Z, or, oh, this is what happened, and this is giving me a revelation. Like, these things may sound foolish, right? But let's see what the Bible has to say. First Corinthians 1 8 and 18 says, "For the word of the cross is folly to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God." There you go. That's why I'm okay. I'm okay with looking like a fool to anybody that feels like I'm a fool. To be, oh, you just hustling from home. You ain't working no job. You ain't X, Y, and Z. What you mean? The Lord led you to go to the store and somebody paid for something like, oh, you know what I mean? It even anyway. I'm just telling y'all what the Bible says, and I'm just telling y'all my testimonies of what happened. And it might sound crazy, but I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it sounds crazy to you because you might be one of them perishing ones. There's some pope. You might not like that, but that's what it says. I don't know. Let's keep going. First Corinthians 1, 27 through 29 says, "But God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. God chose what is low and despised in the world, even things that are not something. Sorry. Excuse me. Aren't to bring to nothing. Excuse me. That meant to bring to nothing things that are so that no harm be. Y'all go read this for yourself. Being ought might boast. That no human being might not boast in the presence of God. So, again, y'all can read that for yourself because I know I jumbled up some things because of my handwriting. But, again, like if we just focus on the first verse there, it says that God chose the foolish things in the world to shame the wise. There's plenty of people that feel like they are wise, right? There's plenty of people that feel like they have all the knowledge. You have the book knowledge, you have the research knowledge, X, Y, and Z. But then, like they say sometimes, but common sense ain't common. Like you don't have the common sense, but you got all the book knowledge. People in the Bible was like that too. They got the Pharisees and Sadducees. Again, they should have known and recognized Jesus, but they didn't. And so, what am I saying here? Well, again, I'm willing to look like a fool if I need to for Jesus. I'm willing to keep walking down this path of allowing Him to use my life and be a testimony in my life by trusting Him fully with my life, right? And everything like that. And yeah, I see the blessings of that. I see the ups and downs of that. Like sometimes I feel foolish myself. Sometimes I feel like, ooh, like, does this make sense? But again, I see the blessings. I see that in spite of whatever my current situation is, the Lord takes care of me, right? And so, what am I saying? I don't know. Are you willing to do that today? Are you willing to be a fool for Christ? If you're gonna be a fool, you might as well be a fool for Christ. And then what I felt led, I guess the reason I put Jester for Jesus, I guess felt led to put that is because when you look at that definition, it said a professional joker. If you're gonna be a fool, right, you might as well be a professional one. And then if you're gonna be a fool for something in particular, you might as well be one for God. That's the way I look at it anyway. But anyway, let me keep going. So then Isaiah 50:7, it says, "But the Lord God helps me. Therefore I have not been disgraced. Therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall not be put to shame." There's a lot of things that has been going on. Like there's been a lot of prophecies that have been said over the past few years. I know this about to be controversial. Ooh, you want me to say it, Lord? Ooh. Okay. I know that there are we talked about it. We talked about it here on GSL. There's several prophecies about the recent election and how it went, and we know that in the midst of these years, right, or this year, whatever the case is, that obviously it looks like it's a different way. Should I just say it, Lord? You want me to say it? Okay, well, I just say it like this. especially here in America. I mean, again, there's people that, there was all these prophecies about the election. There was all these prophecies about that Trump will win, and people don't believe that he did. There's people that do believe that he did, and we're just seeing something else in play at this moment. And what now? Let's just think about that for a moment. Let's think about it. Um, what if, right? I don't know, within the next year or so, we see that like that's accurate. Like, what do you think of that? Like, what do you think of that? I don't know. Did God use a foolish thing to confound the wise? Like, cause I don't. Hey, I don't know. I'm just telling y'all what people say, and it might look and seem foolish, but I guess we'll find out, right, in a few years. But even with that, or even I hear a lot of people talking about this coin. I think I told y'all about it a few weeks ago. This Shiba Inu coin. They're talking about the wealth transfer in the spirit and all these different things. And so some people might think that's foolish. Some people might think that's foolish to believe that, even though it's in the Bible about, money being that evil people have, it's for that the wicked have, it's for the righteous, X, Y, and Z. But let's just say, again, let's just say these prophecies are yay or nay with X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I guess when it comes to things like this, I think I'd rather again be a fool for Christ, right, and be a fool for God and look like a fool. Because anybody that looks like a fool, like if we just let's talk about Bible then. Let's talk if we not, stop talking about current events. Let's talk about Bible. Like Noah looked like a fool until the flood came. Peter might have looked like a fool when he stepped out the boat until he actually walked like Jesus did. And there's plenty of accounts of that. Like the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego might look like fools to stand until they walked out the furnace. Like, I mean, so I don't know. If I'm going to be a fool, right? I'd rather be a fool for Jesus. And look, I might as well be a professional one, a jester for Jesus. And that's the juice, y'all. That's the juice this morning. Because, I mean, again, at the end of the day, we're not going to be put to shame. It says here in this word that we're not going to be put to shame. Even though, again, it may look a certain way for some, a period of time. But none of the other biblical figures were put to shame. And I guess we won't be either. I mean, I feel like there was something that might be a little bit of a blessing, or I don't know if you want to say prophecy, but it's a Bible verse. It's in the Go Deeper section that hopefully will encourage and inspire those of us that are feeling like we are in foolish positions in the moment, and everything like that. There was something else I was going to get ready to say. Do you need me to say it, Lord? I can't remember. Oh well. But yeah, y'all, I mean, ultimately, this is the juice this morning. This is the juice that, yeah, if we're going to be fools, let's be a professional one. And if we're going to be a jester for anybody, let's be a jester for Jesus, and that's the juice, y'all. Y'all can go deeper about that on your own and everything like that. But the Bible verse of today is Psalms 27:14. It says, "Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all on Monday, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Miracle Sims, and you already know that your girl is now an author, and my very first publication is none other than a creation inspired by the juice. That's right, friends, you can go on Amazon.com and find the juice 30-day Bible study journal. And this, friends, I hope and pray will help you create your own Bible study experience similar to the one that your girl here shares with you every day here on God, Sex, and Love.